We start things off with our Slayers player starting to the bottom right in red. It's Curly Sue. It is
Slayers, Coca.
Curly-haired Coca, one of few curly-haired pro gamers.
And he's up against a Keswa player with an amazing performance in the loser bracket against Gumiho. He introduced himself to the StarCraft 2 universe. It is
Unjin Styles, Soul Key.
He's got the key to your soul.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm more into dudes, I'm sorry. But he's... What did I just say? Oh my god, please shoot me now. Yeah, okay. Let's... yeah. I will have to pay for that one. I already know it. I was distracted by the 10 pole that we currently see from the player at the bottom left.
He's pulling a drone as well because he wants to know if the hatchery has been taken, how many drones he wants to follow up with. And he may be able to use that with a forward spine as well, but that's not likely.
I want to say that once again, sorry, but I'm not in the dudes, I'm actually in the girls. I'm sorry. I could shoot myself right now.
Well,
I will have to pay dearly for that one.
I actually know a girl who slightly resembles Sulky in the face, but has a very different body type. If you want me to introduce...
No, I'm actually more about the face than the body.
Okay.
But this is something that's not going to go too well for Coca, because currently with his pool, of course, he has the Zerglings on his way. But the problem is that Solky didn't start with a hatch first. He started with his pool, and Coca knows about it. So I don't think that he will follow up with additional Zerglings. He will probably try to take an expansion on his own. At this point, he can try to do damage, but he won't be too successful. Solky will have his own links on the way. He will take some damage on the hatch, but forcing a cancel is not possible.
It's not possible at all, and you're so right here. Coca also going to go hatch before getting his queen out, which I like. But he's so drone low right now. He's just now hitting the 12 mark on that. And the 8lings are actually going to be out just in time for Sulky. He's going to have to fight a battle that he cannot win at first. And actually, no, with Coca with not having all his links together, he will be able to fight this. And now the next 2 links will actually hold this off entirely.
Yeah, well done here by Sulky, playing this really well. The thing is that both of them face tough opponents in the winner bracket. Now they face each other in the loser bracket, and only the winner will advance. Coca, of course, a little bit delayed with this expansion as he started things off with this aggression, and Sulky is completely fine here. We have the queens out, and the queen is a bit faster for Coca. This is one of the benefits. Actually, it's faster for Sulky here, sorry, because he built the Zerglings, of course, first. He didn't spot the build of his opponent soon enough to mix things up. Well, let's see how Coca is going to play this. Sulky has a really small advantage at this point. But Coca trying to just be aggressive. And the thing is, he doesn't lose too much. He's a little bit behind after Sulky. But if Sulky would have started, for example, with a hatch first, Coca would have been able to do so much damage.
Yeah, and now with Sulky's safety, he doesn't even damage the hatchery. Now he's trying to get the better concave at the top of the ramp. Doesn't want to fight at all with this, actually. He's going to wait for the queen. And Sulky having the much faster Zergling speed here, that's really important to note, because that could mean that he gets a scout in. It could mean that he has the potential to put on aggression first if that's something he wants to decide to do.
Speed is, of course, also a lot faster for Sulky, and this is going to prove a problem for Coca later. I think at this point what Coca really has to do as soon as he takes gas, he will start with his Baneling Nest before he starts speed. Because this is a very tricky situation for him to be in. Yeah. If he wants to skip the Zergling speed entirely and go straight into Roaches, which is a possibility but really hard to pull off, then he needs additional queens and he needs spine crawlers. He needs basically nearly a full wall. He's getting additional queen right now, by the way, so it might actually be exactly what he's going to do.
If we see the Roach Warren go down as a wall and possibly an Evolution Chamber as well, then I think that is what he's going to do, because right now he's still not mining gas.
And he's getting the double spine crawler, so it doesn't look like he wants to start things off with Banelings, but he has to be careful here.
He's going to actually get a scout off in the main base, which means he's going to see the Baneling Nest and that there's no lair just yet. This is actually great for Coca.
Coca with a very, very late gas. I'm really surprised that he didn't get an extractor by now. He's getting another queen, so this is exactly what I talked about. He gets double queens, exactly what I mentioned. If you don't rely on gas at this point in time, then you definitely need a really good defense. And what you can do is just block with those queens. You gather up a little bit of energy, so that you can actually transfuse. You want to transfuse the spine crawler, you want to transfuse the queens. You need to buy time, and you need to block your ramp.
Yeah, he blocks the ramp well here, and he's got a lot of energy energy building up on these queens. This attack by Sulky is going to be easily shut down, I feel. As long as he pulls his drones away in time from the banelings.
Yes.
But he's got 2 spines to the right side, even having the 3rd one near the queen so that the lings can't force their way through there.
Sulky should actually, either he has to commit really heavily to this, or he needs to back off now and just play greedy.
Yeah,
but he cannot attack with this small force.
I think he's just going to kind of set up a soft contain, make sure his opponent can't take a 3rd while he takes his own 3rd. That's one thing I think he can do until the Roach Warren comes out.
Why is Coca not taking gas?
He's taking it just now, but it's really, really late. 8-minute mark.
And why is he only taking 2? He should go for 4 gas immediately.
That's a good question. The banelings force
there they are.
4
gas.
Alive.
Okay, a little bit later with a second 2. But he really needs to catch up. Just look at Sulky's tech. Sulky is getting a 3rd now, and he knows that without speed and without any... Coca just doesn't have any potential to be aggressive here. So Sulky knows it. And then Sulky is like, well, you are going for a really heavy defense with spine crawlers and queens. So you don't have gas just yet. I've just seen this. I can now take my 3rd. It's going to be safe. You have no way of attacking it. And actually, Sulky is now ahead in tech. He's ahead in nearly everything. Coca is playing a really, really passive game. Yeah. This is a bit scary.
But then Sulky, you know, like I said, with this kind of soft contain, it's going to be very uncomfortable for Coca to take a 3rd base as well.
Sulky's now getting his infestation bit before Coca starts his lair attack.
Yeah. This is all going to become very problematic for Coca as the game goes on. He played too passively. He's not even very significantly ahead in workers, and that's going to be even changed more by the fact that he's not going to have that. And this is what I'm talking about, the soft contain. The wings are here, they're ready. Forces the cancel, gets out. Speed isn't even started, so he can just run around as much as he wants. He runs circles literally around Coca here. Coca is going to find himself on a slow path to defeat if he doesn't make something happen here pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely. The Infestor count, that's the one advantage that Sulky will have. And the 3rd, this is where he's going to strike. Coca is just now about to finish his lair tech, and he is far behind in tech here. You already mentioned that the drone count is not too far ahead for Coca, and this is also true, especially since Sulky is now closing the gap.
Yeah, and 10 more drones on the way for him at this moment in time. He's going to have the better saturation, and he's going to force the cancel on the hatchery here. Even bringing his banelings into extra damage.
Wow.
No cancel.
Yes, no cancel. He loses the 300 minerals.
Oh, man. I don't think Coca could be even more behind. If this were like Pac-Man and he like went so far behind, he went to the left side of the thing and he came around the other side, that's how far behind he is. I don't know if anyone understands what I'm talking about. But
yeah, I completely get it. I will get what you're saying, and you are really spot on, because look at how things stand now in the game. We have speed finished, we have pathogen glands finished. I'm a little bit surprised that we don't see additional infestors by Sulky now, because he can just really try to capitalize on his advantage that he has. But if he's going for here they are. Infestors are being built a little bit later than I thought. But if he attacks with this composition, he has such a huge timing now, and if he uses it, I don't think there's anything that Coca can do.
Basically, he's going to be desperate to hold, that's for sure. The +1 is done for both players, so the upgrade there is the one thing that Coca is kind of on even footing with. And he has supply blocked Sulky actually with an Overlord kill, but Sulky already prepared with the extra ones. And now Pathogen Glands is being started for Coca. His infestors are a long way away, and you're right, man. This timing is just going to be too much, most likely.
It's a question of how Sulky is going to play it. Is Sulky going to be aggressive and trying to hit the timing, or is he trying to just out-macro his opponent by getting the 4th base earlier, by getting additional tech and getting ahead overall? This is the main question that Sulky has to answer right now. He's the only one who can make this choice. He knows with the scouting information that he had with the Overseer in his opponent's main base what's going on here. So Sulky has the option of doing either one of them. But he is in a position where it's really hard for Coca to come back.
Now they're on even economy, but you can see in the supply of Sulky that his having that base up faster is really starting to shine through with his Roach count. It's slightly ahead. He's getting more and more infestors. Coca starts +2 for Roach is a little bit faster though. Macro hatch for Sulky means that he will have a lot more production very soon than he did before, as Coca has his macro hatch up earlier as well.
And Sulky is so far not really capitalizing on the huge lead that he had in tech. It's 27 against 23 now, and when he comes down to the Roaches. And the Infestor count is starting to even out. Of course, Sulky has a lot more energy on these Infestors, and this is something that he might use and that he should use.
Especially he's going to go for a small run by. He may catch this queen. He actually wants to go in the main instead.
He goes into the main at the same time as though preparing for the huge attack.
Yeah, he's trying to force these units out of position, and he's successful. The Overseer sees it. Will he actually capitalize on this?
Slowkey is now trying to go for the death composition with the Hydralisks in the mix as well.
Yeah, Hydra Den coming up here. And he's got his own +2 on the way now as well.
But the thing is, he could have actually just started with a 4th base because Koka can't really get aggressive. Now
There we go.
He is moving in. Now he wants to use the energy on the Infestors, and he has the lead in the Infestor count. 9-2-6 and way more energy. All these Infested talents. A nice flank from the side is hitting as well.
Yeah.
Solkey is going to end this.
A great flank by Solkey, and Koka, even with the better position and the ramp and the Spine Crawlers, there's just too much here. The Infestors are starting to fall. Koka really needs to pull these back. He cannot afford to lose them right now.
Oh, a nice transfuses here on the Spine Crawlers, but there are just too many roaches. The roach count is 42-4.
He even transfused an Infested Terran there, but it's not going to be enough. Solkey now with a 50 supply lead is starting to kill the drones. Not going to go for the hatch, just wants to end the game.
The Infestors are gone for Koka, and Solkey saved all of his Infestors. The count is now 7-2 as one of Solkey's Infestors dies, but still there is just way too much. 120 supply against 190. Well, this is basically a numbers game that Koka cannot win if Solkey doesn't make any major mistakes now.
Koka having a slight advantage in upgrades for a few seconds here will allow him to push these roaches back, but the next wave is the problem.
Koka doesn't even have the roach speed. He's just now getting it. He forgot about this upgrade, and therefore he couldn't escape with his units. But Solkey's second attack, he should finish things off here. This is just a huge advantage that Solkey had early on, and he hits the timing. He hits hard.
Yeah, this time he's got 2 Hydras with this army as well, just to have them to do that extra damage from the back. And this is just too much to handle. The Infestors are falling for Koka. He started this game off behind, and Solkey did not make very many mistakes, capitalize on the proper timing, and there's no way for Koka to save his natural.
No.
The 3rd base is still up, but he's only mining a little bit. GG.